Welcome to Bed Crime Stories Podcast. I'm your host, T, and I hope you're having a great day. Let's dig in. Today marks the 13th day that 16-year-old Kiely Rodni has been missing. The Placer County Sheriff's Office announced today that its dive team and off-highway vehicle team searched yesterday, Wednesday, August 17th, 2022, for Kiely by water and ground, but they did not find anything. Not Kiely and not her silver CRV. So despite them saying they were going to scale back their searches for Kiely, it appears that the Placer County Sheriff's Office is still sending out search teams, and it appears as well that Kiely's friends and family are still doing volunteer searches for her. I'm sure her mother and father will continue searching for her until they find her. Both parents have appeared on camera to plead for Kiely's safe return. These are parents who love their child. They are what Candace Bly, Don Wells, and Candy Harr are not. Seeing Kiely Rodni's and Dylan Round's parents makes it clear how shady Candace Bly and Don Wells are. But I'm not here today to talk about Summer Wells. I'm here to talk about Kiely. One person who's been contacted to help in the search for Kiely is Dog the Bounty Hunter. Apparently, he's been inundated with both tips and emails from people asking him to go to Truckee, California and help in the search for Kiely. Dog is hesitant, though, because of all the flack he took when he stepped into the Gabby Petito case and knocked on Brian Laundrie's sister's door. You may recall that Dog had just gotten married and was in the area for his honeymoon. Dog the Bounty Hunter says that he will only get involved in a missing persons case if A, 21 days have passed since the person was declared missing, and B, if a family member or law enforcement ask him to get involved. So as of today, Dog the Bounty Hunter is waiting for an invitation to step into the ring and/or for 3 weeks to pass. Adventures with Purpose will be arriving either today or tomorrow as well to search for Kiely. There's something comforting about Jared and company heading to Truckee to check out the bodies of water near the campground. Now, apparently the water in these reservoirs is very silty, sandy, and muddy, so it's quite challenging to find cars in them. And the water searches that have been done so far haven't been able to see through to the bottom. Adventures with Purpose specializes in underwater searches. They're also excellent at scuba diving in cold water with low visibility. It turns out that the Placer County Sheriff's Office asked them to come out and help them with the search. Now, it's also possible that someone abducted Kiely Rodni from that party. If 200 to 300 people were really at the party, it would likely be easy to sneak away with an inebriated young girl. But I'm hearing that the party may only have been around 100 people. Still, an abduction is a possibility. I don't think it's the most logical explanation for Kiely's disappearance, but it is possible. I was reading how the Truckee area would be a good place for, say, hiding a silver CRV, because there are tons of seasonal vacation homes there, homes that are not always inhabited. Note that 2 people who disappeared on the same night as Kiely Rodni from the same general area, 29-year-old Jeanette J.J. Pantoja and 36-year-old Juan Almanza Zavala, have been found deceased after a car crash. They were located yesterday, which marks the 12th day that they were missing. The 2 were returning home from a car show in Reno, Nevada, when they apparently veered off the road and down an embankment. Sadly, both JJ and Juan were located outside the vehicle. This could be possibly due to them not wearing their seatbelts or it could signal that they were alive and made it out of the vehicle only to perish nearby. The former explanation seems more logical to me, that they weren't wearing their seatbelts, but I'm speculating. The Highway Patrol are still investigating. Note that Kiely Rodni and her parents had allegedly planned to go to the same car show in Reno that night. I'm not aware of why they didn't go, but that's the story. Now, around 11 p.m. on August 6th, 2022, JJ texted her current boyfriend to tell him that she'd be home in 30 minutes. Sadly, JJ never arrived. Around 30 minutes after her text, her boyfriend received an alert on his phone that she'd stopped sharing her location. JJ and Juan's cell phones last pinged in the area where their bodies were found. Note that the crash site is 70 miles from the Prosser family campground. JJ's sister has expressed frustration that the authorities failed to search for her sister and Zavala to the same degree that they have been for Kiely. Kiely's white and only 16. JJ and Juan were Hispanic and older. I'm thinking maybe Kiely was given priority because of her age and the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. And while it all sounds shady as heck to have 3 people go missing from the same general area on the same day, I don't personally feel that the cases are related. But let's get back to Kiely. Now, according to the findkiely.com website, she was definitely seen at the party wearing her white sweatshirt with pink words that say "Odd Future." The website also states that Kiely was loaned the black hoodie with the Lana Del Rey lyrics on it. So now I'm wondering why Kiely, who was wearing the white sweatshirt, would need to borrow the black hoodie. The only things I can think of are, 1, that her white sweatshirt got wet for some reason, maybe a spilled drink, or maybe a swim in the reservoir, or 2, that Kiely loaned her white sweatshirt to another cold person when the temperatures dropped, and she grabbed Magdalene Larson's black hoodie, which maybe Megs left in Kiely's CRV when she left the party after just 10 minutes with her boyfriend Ross. And again, why didn't Megs or Sammy say anything about the white and the black sweatshirts? Neither one of them said that Kiely was wearing a sweatshirt that night. More than a few weird things have gone down in connection with Kiely's disappearance. For one, someone messaged the Placer County Sheriff's Office asking if a black BMW with heavily tinted windows was at the party. The sheriff's office replied simply, "Where did you hear that?" The lady who asked the question then allegedly called the Placer County Sheriff. I can't find any additional information about this black BMW and its possible significance in Kiely's disappearance. Does it belong to some drug dealer? I'm not sure. Note that the legal drinking age in California is 21. So now I'm wondering who bought the alcohol that Sammy Smith said she and Kiely went back to Kiely's car to get. Sammy said this in her car interview with the guy from All American Dream Chaser. I want to also talk about a guy who was arrested in Placer County for supplying fentanyl-laced pills to a 15-year-old girl who passed away subsequently from fentanyl poisoning. I'm sharing this because it illustrates the type of drugs and pills that are circulating in the area. The county district's attorney's office filed a criminal complaint against 20-year-old Nathaniel Kabakungan and arrested him on August 10, 2022, in connection with the overdose death of a 15-year-old Roseville, California girl. The girl passed away on June 19th of 2022. Kabakungan, I know I'm saying that wrong, allegedly sold the 15-year-old pills that he had pressed fentanyl into to make them look like Percocets. The complaint against Kabakungan, I've said that name 3 times now and it's been different each time I said it, also alleges that he met with a minor for the purpose of engaging in lewd behavior, gave a controlled substance to a minor, and ultimately caused the minor's death. Kabakungan is being held in the Placer County Jail without bond. Note that Roseville is 83.4 miles away from Truckee, California, which translates into an hour and 21-minute drive. So Nathaniel Kabakungan being arrested on August 10th of 2022 means that he was still out and about on the night of the campground party that Kiely Rodni attended. Kabakungan appears to be a Filipino name, by the way. I think this story illustrates how dangerous it is to buy drugs from people off the streets like that, because even the smallest amount of fentanyl can kill you. This stuff is lethal, and it's killing so many people. So we know from this supposedly 29-year-old Ronnie guy who called Ikamel's YouTube channel that cocaine, mushrooms, and alcohol were 100%, allegedly, floating around this campground party. Ronnie claims his 2 cousins were at the party, wink wink, and observed Kiely Rodni running around highly social and also highly intoxicated. In fact, she was too wasted per Ronnie to drive. Ronnie also said that there is a dispensary on the way to this Prosser campground, and people go there and buy a lot of stuff and then go to the campground and go into the woods to basically get wasted. This woods bit is reminding me of the Summer Wells case and Candace Bly and H being in the woods with whatever vapes and twisted teas they bought that day. Personally, I think Ronnie went to the party, and he possibly was with his cousin, as he said, or some other person. I say this because Ronnie slips into first-person narrative at some points during the conversation, and he's very sure of things like what Kiely was wearing, the black bodysuit, and how Kiely was drinking pretty much the whole time during the party. Ronnie says that last bit as if he watched Kiely drinking all night. Ronnie also let it slip that his cousins saw Kiely earlier in the day inebriated. He stumbles when he talks about this. He says 10 or 10:30, then he says 8 or 9 p.m. Ronnie talks about older dudes showing up at these parties with cocaine and giving it to the females and then expecting the girls to kick it with them. Ronnie says his cousins left the party around 10:30 p.m. or 11 p.m. And I have to agree with Ryan Upchurch. Ronnie's voice does seem to be coming from a voice changer. In my opinion, I think this Ronnie person is someone who was at the party. And I think that he's playing or she's playing with the voice to hide it. I know that sounds crazy, but I really think so. If you listen to the voice, there's like some muffled stuff going on. So here are some of my top questions right now in Kiely's disappearance. 1. Who did Sammy Smith finally get a ride with when she left the campground? And who was in the car with her? She's made a big point about saying she was in the passenger seat. 2. Kiely's ex-boyfriend, Jager, made a comment in a TikTok video that the sheriff wants him to filter information for them. The Placer County Sheriff's Office replied that that is patently false. It does not want Jager or Sammy or any other kid filtering tips for them. Why did Jager and Sammy try to get people to filter tips and information through them? Were they just trying to be helpful, or are they trying to hear everything? I'm surprised their parents didn't pull them aside and say, no, it's not your role to sift through tips. Let the police do their job. That's what they're here for. 3. Why didn't Sammy just drive Kiely home in Kiely's CRV? Or was she too intoxicated as well to drive? She did say that she drank a lot and that she was inebriated. She used that as an excuse for not remembering some things or for stumbling around when she talked about that night in her interview with that guy on that channel, the All-American Dream Chaser channel. 4. Why in that one group photo of the partygoers do the kids all have their backs to the camera? Why don't they appear to even have drinks in their hands? Have any of you ever seen a photo from a young person's party like this where nobody is holding a drink? Is this photo even from the August 5th party? 5. Where did all the vehicles seen leaving the Prosser family campground together at 12:30 a.m. go to? Why did all those people leave the party at the same time? 6. When did this party at the Prosser family campground really finally end? I'm hearing stories that it was still going on at 4:30 a.m. 7. The party was in the Prosser family campground in a section known as the Sanctuary. It's a small clearing surrounded by tall conifers. I think they're conifers. I'm not a tree expert. It's not right next to the water. So how did Kiely Rodni's cell phone end up pinging half on land and half on water over there? I want to leave you also with some drone footage of the sanctuary area that was shown on Grizzly True Crime's YouTube channel. I'll leave a link to that video in the description. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories, now do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe to my channel.